Today I have, forget what these are, but they are, I can't remember the species name of these. I remember the tags already. I've had them for about a year. Already pruned a couple of them. Here's one, here's one. Shown them in previous videos. This one could use a little bit more pruning at the top. I'm just going to show you what I do with this. Start with right here. We have an outgrowth across the stem that comes off right here. I just prune it right there to get it more straightened out and outward growing rather than straight up. I will not be wiring these today, just pruning them. Well, I may wire them. Here we have a sort of twin trunk, one coming off down here and one coming off down at the base. They have a good root system down there that I could show you. Sort of good. Right here. So that's a good start. You'll notice on these, I'm going to clip them both off. Well, no, I'm going to keep that lower one just for now. As a sacrificial branch at minimum. Take off that lower one. Here we have that it splits into two, or actually three a little bit. I'm going to take it and print it out to the outward one, growing one. This would be the clip and grow methodology, rather than the wiring methodology of cutting or printing bonsai. Here we have the same thing. I want to cut right here, but my feelings are kind of telling me to want to clip it a little bit higher up, just to give it a little bit more room for dieback. Over here we have some nice strong stems coming up from about the same direction or same location. Right here and right here. So I'm going to clean those out. We have that. That. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. And then we have this and this. They're also pretty close together. And then we have this higher branch, which is right where I want it. As you can see, we have this branch and this branch. So I'm going to print off this one since it's closer to that one. And then over here, just prune it back. This one I'm feeling more harder prune. Maybe right there. Over here we have this growing well. Looking at it, I'm going to print it right here. Feels like a good spot. This right here, I'm just going to leave. I may do it a twin trunk, I may not. But for now, it's sacrificial, but it's going to be kept. There's not a lot of growth right here, so I'm going to... I feel like I want to print it here, but I also think I should print a little bit higher up just to give it some room for dieback. And up here is about the point on the others that I chose its new leader. Get this. I'm just going to print it right there for now. Prune these back pretty hard. That went to there. This one all the way back to there. Prune this one too a little bit. I'm just saying the cuttings that I've cut off to propagate these. Emerald Giant or Emerald Green or something like that. Had it in my mind what these are called, but I can't remember. Wish I kept the tags now. Now for this, I'm going to print it again right here. You can see it's a little bit bare. Doesn't have a lot on it, but it'll grow back in due time. But this one's pretty much done for its pruning. Gonna see if I can thicken up this trunk, and we can see they have a pretty nice, good formal upright style. It's not a complex project. They're good plants. These were, I bought 3 of them, and I bought them kind of to do forest planting, kind of. I was thinking about doing that. But they're really good plants. They grow very strong and healthy. But one thing that I have noticed when I look at them at Lowe's and Home Depot, where I normally buy them, is very rarely do they have such a good, really good formal upright style and good root base and all that. A lot of the plants at Lowe's and Home Depot just aren't this high of quality that these 3 were. That one near me. And with these, probably just cut this, or maybe cut these off. So no, not cut them off, but peel them off like that. It's called a heel cutting. Cut that off since it's overly long. A little more than that, and then it's probably the last piece that I probably cut about right there. Root it just like that. Nothing too complex. Here's one that probably needs, well, it's already good. Just clip these off, stick it in some soil, and it'll be fine. I prefer taking a lot of, for most of my cuttings I do, well, I don't really bother with the timing outside of never in the winter, or at least the dead of winter. I did it basically from spring to fall, but I focus mainly on hardwood cuttings that are at least a year old, or at least hardened like that. That's a year old right there, like being green, but I'd normally use that personally. That's what I personally find the highest success rate with. Something like that, just peel it off. And you can see it's rather long, but it's fine. Just cut it back, give it a clean cut. On something like this, probably would cut it a little bit shorter. Peel it off, clip off the long end. We'll do this one too. This is what's called a heel cutting. Node cutting is where you basically cut it like that, straight or possibly angled. On this, I don't think I'm going to use it. Well, I think I'll use it just to see if it roots. As you can see right here, we have a potential twin trunk. So I'm going to prune this piece off because it's right there. A bothersome place, and just try to root that. Most of them that are brown like this, that are hardened off, I'll just rip them off and do them like that. So that's mainly what I like to root, especially on coniferous plants or trees. Something like this, I probably wouldn't use. And then that's basically a bunch of nothing, so I'm not even going to use that. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe these are called cypresses, or labeled as cypresses on their labels at like Lowe's and Home Depot, but I know they're not cypresses, or at least not the it's not a Hinoki, and it's not any of those types of cypresses. It's I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called botanically. Neither species nor you name it. I think it's usually labeled as a cypress, but it's not a real cypress. Something like this would be fine. I'd probably print it right there, salvage this part, cut it, Here we have another good piece. Cut it. Cut that. That's good enough. Some of these are still green. I'm not going to use the green ones. Personal preference. But they probably would actually read easier because they're still hardened off. I got a whole bunch here. I'll just probably find a plot and show it after photo.